Affective scientists develop procedures to measure emotions in both the laboratory and real-life settings. Have you ever thought which ones are better? Let's get to know the advantages and disadvantages of these two approaches.
The laboratory studies often starts with setting and applying advanced and often medical-grade equipment to measure emotions. Next, participants undergo the resting baseline, in which they stay neutral. After the baseline, participants go through emotion elicitation procedures, while the scientists collect data. Finally, researchers can compare emotional data with neutral states. Although studying emotions in laboratory may look like the perfect setting to measure emotions, but to do that, we need additional methods to elicit emotions. Researchers use multiple methods, including film clips, pictures, and behavioral manipulations. However, their effectiveness differ greatly depending on the context, namely to whom, how, and why they are presented.
The experimental procedures are also influenced by adopted emotions perspectives that we talked about in our previous videos. For instance, using basic emotion models, researchers would use standardized stimuli as it would produce universal responses. Using appraisal models, the self-generated stimuli is recommended as the stimulus meaning is crucial. Researchers adopting psychological construction models would use standardized stimuli targeting specific emotional dimension, like positive valence, as emotions are composed of more basic ingredients. Finally, scientists that use social construction models would control for social context during the emotion elicitation and believes that the stimuli should be adapted for the cultural context.
However, laboratory studies do not account for richness and intensity of emotional real life and for variability of social and environmental context. Therefore, researchers developed methods to measure emotions in the wild, including experience sampling methods. Until recently, the field studies were limited to participants' self-reports. Now, using wearables, we can measure emotional behavior and physiology as well. The only remaining question is how to capture the emotional moments in real life. We can try to shoot blind and prompt participants about emotions in some semi-random design. However, recent developments in affective computing allow us to adjust the measurement moments for detected physiological and behavioral changes. We can also account for participants' daily routines, like events in calendar.
However, in contrast to laboratory studies, in field studies, the type of experienced emotions and their timing are usually unknown to the researchers. That's why they have to rely on the participants' self-reports on what emotion and when exactly this emotion was experienced. Thus, moving toward everyday life, researchers have to sacrifice some knowledge about the stimulus and its timing to gain more real-life emotions.
In sum, we should consider balance between laboratory methods and their applications in real life. Laboratory methods, AI models developed in laboratory, may be well suited for other datasets collected in the lab, but perform poorly in the field. AI models developed in the field may be less accurate, but better suited for recognizing emotions in the wild. We believe that both methods are essential for development of affective computing, but researchers should be aware of their limitations. What are your preferred methods? Which of them did you use in the past? Let us know in the comments below, and see you in the next video.